Nobody actually needs money. You don't need money. You need what money can buy. So some of the big myths that are out there, let's see. Oh, I need to put together a special needs trust. That's the big mantra. They come in, I need a special needs trust. There are actually quite a bit of cases where they don't need to do a separate special needs trust. Sometimes there is, but in a lot of cases they don't. Now, one of the other things that you often end up working with your clients on, they are so laser focused on taking care of that beneficiary that has special needs, to the exclusion of everything else. Well, wait a minute, we're doing planning, but you've got 3 kids. Oh, we'll worry about them later. Well, no. We have to get across that this is kind of more holistic planning. It's not just for that beneficiary. Now, maybe there's some emergency thing that's coming up, they need to do something quickly, but when we're doing estate planning, it should be an overall plan that accounts for the fact that this one beneficiary needs to get some benefits that are going to be protected.
If you think it's important for educational videos like this to get out there, then please help us out by subscribing to the channel.
Special needs trust myopia is another big problem that's out there. Like I mentioned, I kept hearing, I need a special needs trust, I need a special needs trust. Well, if you check in the standard language inside the Estate Planning Sources Revocable Living Trust, their share can be protected. Now, part of what I end up doing is just have a special clause if there's a beneficiary that we absolutely positively need to protect. They are listed as, quote, being a disabled beneficiary, even if it's not medically or actually the case. So there's no wiggle room. No government agency can say, well, they're not really disabled, and we read the trust and we think these assets need to be used to pay for the stuff that we would have been paying for. No, I make it clear that it's going to be locked down, that they are going to be considered as defined by the trust a disabled beneficiary, so they're not going to ever lose their benefits. I can't leave anything to my child because they will lose their benefits. I don't hear that as much as I need a special needs trust, but I do hear it sometimes. But I just can't leave anything to them. We're going to cut them out of the estate planning altogether. And that's not necessary. You can include them in the plan, you just can't give them money directly. Another thing that I've found, there's an awful lot of discussion around details. Now, for everybody who kind of raised their hand that they work with parents with special needs children, they know a lot more about the actual benefits and what's required to get those benefits and how they need to maintain it than I do. They kind of become this expert on keeping the benefits for their own child. They're coming to me about, well, when we're no longer here, what can we do to support them but not have them lose their benefits? But the actual benefit qualification, they absolutely know more than I do, more often than not. And so they're taking that detailed attitude into doing estate planning, and it really can be simplified a lot more. So, in special bequests under current rules, that was that clever attorney story that I was talking about. That he just decided, I'm going to leave just what the law allows. Well, here's the problem too. Not only do situations change, but laws change. Those limits change. If you're looking at the details and, oh, I'm going to give them directly X number of dollars, give them this asset, or even some of the details, you must do this, you must give them money for this. you can't give them money for this. You can only give them X number of dollars. The more details that start getting put into that plan, the more it's going to need to be updated as the rules change and as the situations changed. So that kind of brings me to the prime directive. The tried and true, everlasting. Don't give them anything directly. That's all. That's what it comes down to. You want their share to be administered in the sole discretion of the trustee so that they can look at the situation at the time, see what the rules are, and get them what they need without having to actually put money in their pocket. I mentioned this in my book. Nobody actually needs money. You don't need money. You need what money can buy. So if you don't leave money to your beneficiary, it doesn't mean you're stranding them or cutting them out. It just means somebody else has to handle the money for them and pay for things for them. The example that I typically give, and I get some smirks now and then it dawns on them. If you've passed on and a beneficiary of special needs goes to the trustee, an aunt, an uncle, a sibling, I want this $20,000 gaming system. I want the gaming system itself. I want the desktop computer with all of these things. I want multiple monitors. I want the special desk, and I want, I want the special gaming chair and whatever. And the trustee, it's going to be $20,000. And the trustee says, you know what? It's not a bad idea. I know you're always online talking with your brother and your cousins. You get a lot of socialization through using stuff like that. I think it would actually be good money spent. Let's go and buy the stuff, and we can even pay to have it installed, because right now they're allowed to have the stuff. The trustee should never say, here's $20,000, go buy it yourself. If that is the prime directive and that's the rule that you can get across to your clients, they can leave whatever they want through the trust to take care of that beneficiary, and it's not going to affect their eligibility.